Well, just over a month from now, voters across America are going to be voting, and the stakes are high. Some early voting is actually going to begin in a few places in the next week or so. The contrast to the competing parties has never been more dramatic. I'm frankly not as confident as I'd like to be that if the Republicans win both houses of Congress, that they will do a whole lot of what they promise. I've learned to be deeply disappointed in Republicans when they are in power in Congress. Time and again, I've heard the promises, but rarely have seen the results. Now, I'd love it if they got in power and actually conducted honest and thorough investigations into everything from the DOJ and FBI, who are brutally trampling the civil rights of Americans by using our taxpayer-funded power as a weapon to punish Christians, pro-life people, and conservatives. And it would be great if they would find out whether Joe Biden really is the big guy, the one reportedly referred to by Hunter Biden as the one who's getting a cash cut out of the dirty deals that Hunter made with the communist Chinese government and the corrupt Russian and Ukrainian business oligarchs. And we need to know if the IRS is politically targeting conservatives, Christian groups, and pro-life ministries so as to intimidate them. We need to know why the FBI is sending large teams of armed agents swarming into the homes of pro-life advocates, scaring the daylights out of their children, or conducting armed raids on a certain former president, when they have never done that to previous presidents who also had classified documents from their time in office. To help explain what's the difference between the parties and how it impacts your life, let me just retell a story that I heard recently. I think it puts the election in very clear perspective. A woman in a hot air balloon realizes that she's lost. She lowers her altitude and she spots a man fishing from a boat below. She shouts to him, "Excuse me, can you help me? I promised a friend I would meet him an hour ago, but I don't know where I am." The man consults his portable GPS and he replies, "Well, you're in a hot air balloon approximately 30 feet above a ground elevation of 2,346 feet above sea level. You're at 31 degrees, 14.97 minutes north latitude, and 100 degrees, 49.09 minutes west longitude." She rolls her eyes and says, "You must be a Republican." And the man says, "Well, I am. How did you know?" She says, "Well, everything you tell me is technically correct, but I have no idea what to do with your information, and I'm still lost. Frankly, you're not much help to me." The man smiles and responds, "Well, you must be a Democrat." And she says, "Well, I am. How did you know?" "Well," says the man, "you don't know where you are or where you're going. You've risen to where you are due to a large quantity of hot air. You made a promise that you have no idea how to keep, and now you expect me to solve your problem. You're in exactly the same position that you were in before we met, but somehow now it's my fault." Somehow, I kind of feel like that story sums up what we're up against. As I said earlier, I'm typically disappointed in Republicans when they get in power because they seem to never get around to doing the big things they promise. But a Congress that does nothing would be a great improvement over the one we have right now that is destroying our country before our eyes with higher taxes, reckless spending that is creating runaway inflation, stagnant paychecks for working Americans, a stranglehold for small businesses, a Justice Department that labels parents as domestic terrorists just because they actually care about what their school children are being taught, and which tramples the rule of law and due process. And we might even stop a Congress that lies about the border being secure, but doesn't seem to care that human trafficking and drugs are coming across those open borders in record numbers. And we've got to stop the uncontrolled crime wave led by some of the Democrats who believe in defunding the police, letting violent criminals out just hours after being arrested, and who never face consequences for bashing in the head of an elderly subway rider, shooting randomly and killing small children, are torching police cars in federal courthouses. Now look, Republicans, I'll be honest, they're not always that great, but they aren't stark raving crazy. And as much as I'd like to see a stout Republican Party truly fight to restore a constitutional republic, right now, I'd settle for them just stopping the silly, the insane, and the dangerous. I really would.